It was 2019. I stood in front of a group of about 20 to 30 people leading a workshop. We just identified a key issue, yet the team was very hesitant. They said, "You can't say that." We knew we had to report out to upper management, to senior leadership, and they felt what we identified was something they would never listen to and that they didn't want to hear. It was basically, "You can't say that. They'll never listen." Well, a couple things that I know is that you'll never change anything you don't address. And what we had identified a key issue and we had to address it. What's right is right, and I have a responsibility to do what's right. So in the final report out, I said what shouldn't be said to who it shouldn't be said to. And ultimately, we got the help we needed. It made our 5-day workshop that was intended to drive a great deal of change in a very short amount of time. It made it a success. Had we not done this, it would have been a failure. And in saying what shouldn't be said to who it shouldn't be said to, I established exactly who I was and what I am about. And for that team, it earned a great deal of respect. It gained a lot of influence. And I built a lot of credibility. And over the next several years, we were able to drive even more change based upon everything that I earned in that initial workshop and how I followed through over time. This is the power of conviction. A conviction is a strongly held belief. And you can use conviction to basically eliminate any doubt of who you are and what you're about and what matters to you. You can build credibility in your vision and who you are and what you're after. I have several convictions that I feel very passionately about. And when I speak about them, well, they give me a power. They give me a confidence that allows me to express a very strongly held belief in a very strong way. And it sends a very clear message about who I am, what I'm about, and what matters to me. It gives meaning to the work of others, and it gives meaning to our effort and the things that we do. And through this, I'm able to build a ton of credibility. Some of my convictions, touched a little bit about on it, and I've generalized these for this video, but what's right is right. You're more capable than you think. You can do much more than you think. You have a responsibility to share your value, to help others. Your effort matters. Everyone's effort matters in its own right. Your choices drive your circumstances. Your life is your responsibility, and that everything will be okay. These are convictions that how I live my life, and so it's how I do my work, and it's how I fight for what matters. When I think about a conviction, there's a key criteria that I think about, and that it's hard to argue. It's easy to have a strong hold on this belief because they're very relatable, they're very human, and they make sense. This is where I struggle with poor convictions. Like, money is the most important thing in the world. I think it's a poor conviction. I think it's a thin argument. I think it can quickly be argued that other things are more important, and you would agree. It's hard to argue what's right is right. I think it's also hopefully hard to argue that you're more capable than you think, that you could do more than you think. That we inherently give ourselves false ceilings. These are poor convictions, whereas strong convictions are much harder to argue. They're much easier to believe that you behave and act and make decisions based upon them throughout your life. I think in another sense, they could be thought of as values. One of the things that I strongly believe is that the lives of the many is not worth the lives of the few. And I mean this in the context of an organization. The efforts of support staff and the efforts of maybe senior leadership, that effort needs to be worthwhile because it's the responsibility to protect and support and create an environment for all of your members that is a worthwhile investment for them. It's their careers, it's their lives, where they'll spend most of their hours. These convictions builds a lot of credibility and respect, and enables me to have a lot of influence over my team. This doesn't take a senior leadership position. It just takes leveraging very strong beliefs that are relatable and that you believe and you act on regularly and that you can convey, that eliminates all doubt, describes exactly who you are and what you're about. It's a strong way to build credibility. You're ultimately giving yourself the power to share exactly who you are, exactly what you're about, and exactly how you'll act. And when you do act in that way, and you do reinforce your convictions after you've shared them, you make it clear that you're a person of integrity, that you're somebody that can be trusted, especially when in regards to your convictions. This is a very subtle tool that I've learned to use over time. It's very effective for me, potentially because I'm a very passionate person, but I think that it's easy to be passionate about what you strongly believe in. So define your convictions, share them, and live them, and build credibility today. I hope this helps. You can't lose if you don't quit.